From Harlem's humble streets to the Hollywood hills, Sean "Diddy" Combs built an empire from scratch. The parties, the platinum hits, the power moves. But now, the self-proclaimed mogul of the music world is trading in his lavish lifestyle for jail time. Diddy, once untouchable, is now convicted, but not for what you might expect. How did one of the most celebrated names in hip-hop end up fighting for his freedom in a Manhattan courtroom? Why did a jury believe part of the claims, but not all of them? And what really went on behind the velvet ropes at those infamous white parties? Buckle up, because this isn't just the story of a rapper. This is the meteoric rise, the brutal fall, and the complex acquittal of a man who once said, "Can't stop, won't stop." But maybe he just did. Sean Combs was born into chaos. Harlem in the 70s was a far cry from the cultural mecca it is today. After his father's, a known drug dealer, was gunned down when Sean was just 3, his mother Janice moved the family to Mount Vernon. She told him it was a car accident. The truth? He only uncovered that years later in a college library. That moment stuck with him. It hardened him, motivated him. Diddy enrolled at Howard University, chasing a business degree. But it wasn't textbooks that caught his attention. It was the party scene, throwing massive events on campus, interning at Uptown Records, and rubbing shoulders with industry heads. It was clear. The music business was his real classroom. Eventually, he dropped out, returning to New York with big dreams and a sharp instinct for what the streets wanted. In 1993, Combs launched Bad Boy Records. His golden ticket, the notorious B.I.G., aka Biggie Smalls, Ready to Die, dropped in '94 and took over the airwaves. But Diddy wasn't content to just be the guy behind the desk. He inserted himself into the spotlight, becoming Puff Daddy, rapping, dancing, living large. But tragedy struck in 1997. Biggie was murdered in a drive-by shooting in L. Acton had suspected retaliation for Tupac's death months earlier. Diddy, ever the showman, turned grief into gold. I'll Be Missing You topped charts and solidified his place in mainstream music. Suddenly, Diddy wasn't just a hip-hop figure. He was a brand, a lifestyle. By the 2000s, Puff had transformed into the Great Gatsby of hip-hop. His all-white parties were legendary. From Beyoncé and Jay-Z to DiCaprio and Paris Hilton, everyone wanted in. But what happened when the cameras stopped rolling? Some say it turned dark. According to multiple lawsuits, those glamorous gatherings may have included drug use, coercion, and worse. Though Combs always denied such claims, a chilling home video caught him telling kids at a party to leave. This turns into something that when you're older, you're gonna want to come to. That line now plays differently. The turning point came in late 2023. Cassie Ventura, Diddy's former partner of over a decade, filed a civil suit under New York's Temporary Adult Survivors Act, a VI, Me Too-era law that bypassed expired statutes. Within 24 hours, it was settled for $20 million, but that was only the beginning. Shocking surveillance footage surfaced from 2016, showing Diddy violently attacking Cassie in a hotel hallway. The images were impossible to ignore. Then came the raids. His LA and Miami homes stormed by police, revealing drugs, weapons, and disturbing items allegedly linked to days-long sex parties dubbed freak-offs. Suddenly, the man who had it all was charged with racketeering, sex trafficking, and more. In court, prosecutors argued that Diddy led a criminal enterprise, likening him to a mob boss under the RICO Act. They described a man who used his staff as foot soldiers to intimidate, manipulate, and silence women over nearly 2 decades. Graphic testimonies described inflatable baby oil pools, forced sexual acts, and degrading commands. One of the most disturbing, an escort allegedly being forced to urinate in Cassie's mouth. But Diddy's legal team hit back hard. They painted the picture of a modern love story, arguing everything was consensual, even if unconventional. The jury, 8 men and 4 women, believed some of it. They acquitted him of the serious charges, racketeering and trafficking. But they did convict him on 2 counts of transporting for prostitution. The verdict sent shockwaves. Social media exploded. Some fans felt vindicated, others cried setup. Celebs remained mostly silent. A few quietly unfollowed him online. Publicists distanced themselves. But in court overflow rooms packed with bloggers, reporters, and TikTok streamers, there was tension, even snickering, as trauma became entertainment. One of the loudest voices, his former publicist Rob Shooter. Knowing Puff, he's planning an appeal. He's not the guy to take this lying down. And perhaps most tellingly, Shooter said Diddy would probably want to party with the jurors if he could. Here's what many missed. The RICO charges weren't just for drama. They allowed prosecutors to loop in acts going back 15 years. The statute of limitations erased. It's the same tactic once used against the mafia, and now against music moguls. But it wasn't enough this time. And those infamous freak-offs? Prosecutors described them as methodical, power-fueled sessions of control. Defense said it was just adult behavior. The jury saw a line and decided which side to stand on. Legal experts are split. Gloria Allred calls it gendered violence, not love. Defense attorneys say the prosecution bit off more than it could prove. Mitchell Epner, a former federal prosecutor, admitted, "RICO charges are powerful, but you have to prove the criminal enterprise." And here they didn't. Still, many believe the conviction, even on lesser charges, sends a chilling message to Hollywood's elite. Your time is up. His music, already removed from some streaming playlists. His brands, quietly distancing. His legacy, tarnished forever. And with dozens of civil suits still pending, Diddy may have only won one battle in a war far from over. Appeals are likely, but his dream of being the most famous man in the world. Ironically, he may have just achieved it, for all the wrong reasons. Sound familiar? Think Bill Cosby or Kelly, once beloved figures, now cautionary tales. Diddy's story joins that tragic club. Fame, unchecked, becomes dangerous. Power, unchallenged, becomes weaponized. He once danced in white suits, now he waits in prison grays. And as he faces sentencing, one question remains. How much more will come to light? Sean Combs was a titan, a cultural force who shaped hip-hop, fashion, and fame. But somewhere along the way, the glitz gave way to darkness. So now we ask you, was justice served, or is Diddy a scapegoat of a system that builds up black icons only to tear them down? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear your voice. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for the next deep dive into the wild world of celebrity rise and ruin. This is USA Star Spill, where drama meets the spotlight.
Subscribe for more interesting videos and hit the like button.